What's up, everyone? Welcome back to 3G video. Today we are on another adventure where we're going from North Dakota to Canada to start Miles of Mayhem off. Last time you saw us come from Virginia here to North Dakota, and we had a slight issue. We're going to dig into what's going on and get on to today's adventure. Okay guys, we have a slight issue. Our alternator is sitting over here because the mount for it broke. So the alternator is sitting in the car. This goes to a tensioner on the block, and this is the pivot point off of a mount on the block. It is held in with this bolt. If you can tell, the end of this bolt broke off with the nut and the other bushing that held it on, all broke off this end. So whenever it was sitting in there, it was allowed to go over and hit the mount, which moved the alternator over, causing the fan blades to hit the mount right over here. So we have to go find a bolt that's going to be this long, and it's a really thin bolt. It's not going to be easy to find one of those, especially out here in the middle of nowhere. But I know of a hardware store that we might get one, and we can get this thing back together. However, I am at a rest stop on the side of the interstate. I'm not going to be able to get parts like that, and I don't have an alternator, so I'm gonna have to tie all the wires back. We're gonna drive it into town without an alternator, so no charging system. It's only 15 miles, I think. No charging system. It'll be fine. We'll get there, hopefully get this thing put together. I'm hoping that we can find a bolt and I can make a washer stack thing that'll fit in as a bushing. I don't know, who knows? I know I'll figure something out. We got to get up to Canada by the end of tomorrow, so we have 2 days, and it's midday today. So yeah, it's a good little drive too. I think we have 16 hours of driving, so we're gonna have to push a little bit, but I know we can do it. Okay, before somebody I know somebody's already commenting, yeah, I realize I took that off. I don't have a water pump, so we're going to figure something else out. I found that I do have a socket that is the right size for the inside of where the bushing should be, but just nothing to locate it forward and backwards. So I got some zip ties. I'm just going to zip tie the alternator back against the back bushing, put that one in, put this in as the front bushing, and tighten it down. Is it going to work? I don't know. I think we're going to get at least the 15 miles to the place, and if we can get at least like 5 or 10 minutes out of it, we'll just keep going. I think it should be fine. So this is a new one, guys. Should be interesting. Also, in other news, that's a pretty dark cloud. Granted, I think it's going away, so yeah. But I'm gonna get to work, really try to get this thing going. Okay, so some hackery went down. Yes, that belt is all sorts of at an angle because it has to miss the nut down there, and if it's on the other one, it won't. It's a whole mess, and the alternator is definitely at an angle, if you can look at it there. Yeah, but I went ahead and started it, not on camera, because I assumed it was going to whack the mount. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to check it there. That way I don't film it. When I started it, it worked. So we're going to start it again and see. We do have some clouds rolling in there. The storm that was there moved, but now we have clouds that direction. So definitely going to need to get packed up and get out of here. But if we go in, starts right up. Yeah, that belt looks really bad, but it works. I don't know what's gonna happen whenever I get it to actual RPM, but we're going to try to get it 15 miles down the road. Okay, so I got it back together. Realized I forgot to attach one of the wires, so got a wire made up. That cloud is getting much closer very quickly, but it's clear over there. I think I can get out of it. Just got a couple things to put up, and we're gonna try to hit the road. Hopefully this works. Okay, well, here goes nothing. We're going to attempt to make it 15 miles down the road. I am genuinely nervous, but I think we can get this, so. Okay, it starts. So that's first task down. And the alternator's actually working, so I can know if something goes wrong if the voltage goes down. I'm just taking it real easy. Going like 60 mile an hour, just in a 75, just trying to not rev it out too much right now. Just want to make it to the hardware store to get this thing a little more shored up. I just pulled into the hardware store. We still have voltage, so that means the belt's still on it. That's a miracle right there, guys. Now let's see if we can find some hardware we need. Okay, so I pulled the alternator out real quick to kind of figure out everything we're dealing with. This is the one bushing that we had that we're going to use for one side. And I have these cap things that I was going to use to be the other bushing. Now I got two different sizes. Coincidentally, both of them were too big, so I had to shave down the rubber part of one of them, and then we'll put the washer back on it, and that will be the bushing for one side, and then we'll have a hard, solid bushing for the other side. Now we just have to get the right spacing with all of that to make it work. Okay, well, I got the new bushing in there, which is a soft bushing. You can tell that the alternator is still just a little bit at an angle, but it's way better than it was, and it's actually held in properly now. It doesn't move really. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like, no, not really. Whereas earlier it was moving a lot, so that's really good. Started up, it works. I think I am finally ready to hit the road and actually get some miles under us today. It's been a long day. This car's kicked my butt a little bit. Came across the street from our hardware store to gas station, got the windshield cleaned off, got gas, ate something, and I'm finally ready to hit the road to see how far we can get tonight. I have just looked to have 15 hours to get to Edmonton, where we're going to have the first race on Sunday, or where we have tech-in day on Sunday. So I'm gonna try to get as far as I can tonight. Try 4 or 5 hours maybe. I don't know. We'll see how long I last until I get too tired to drive. But let's see if we get up to the border. If we get past it, I'm not sure if we'll get into Canada tonight or not. Might stop right before the border. Let's see. Well, I've been driving into the night. It is, well, I don't know exactly because I think it changed time zones or something. It's saying it's 1:30. It was basically what would have been 2:30 in the last time. I don't know. But I'm coming up on the portal. That's those lights over there. That is Canada. So we're getting close. Don't know. I was hoping to find some place to spend the night before I get into the country. So if I can find some place, then we'll go over in the morning, get some sleep, go over in the morning, or we'll just see. I might have to go through tonight. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Okay, I found some trucks spending the night. Got me a parking spot over here for Benny. Can't really see him. So I'm gonna get some sleep. I will see you guys in the morning when we go into Canada. Okay guys, we made it into Canada. Apparently there's a sign up here, a couple kilometers. So we're gonna go see the sign. Welcome to Saskatchewan. This is cool. I had to make a stop at the sign. We are in the middle of nowhere, but we're in Canada and it's time to go. Really just making big strides. I went like half a mile, so that's crazy. No, okay, so we have about 10 hours of driving today. At least it's early. We're gonna have a long day. Probably not gonna make a ton of stops just because I do have to cover like 650 miles today. So let's get on the road, see, and I'll see what we see. We might end up stopping. I found sunflowers. Sunflowers. It's a drag line. Those things are massive. I had a high school teacher that really liked those things. He got into it, made Lego models of it and everything. It's really cool. Cool to see one in action. How fast they spin around is insane. Watch how fast this thing spins around. That's wild. ahead and found traffic in the middle of nowhere. I think there's some construction up here, so has a red light thing that we're waiting on. Pretty cool territory. It really reminds me of like the Kansas or the open plain area of the United States. But you know, we're in Saskatchewan, just like that license plate says, Saskatchewan. Well, we got moving again. They are clearly doing road work. Benny's not always a huge fan of off-roading, but we'll manage. I got things closed up in the back, so hopefully we won't get too much dirt in. This should be interesting. Good to see that they're getting some roads paved and getting some good work done. It's definitely necessary, but it's makes it a little difficult whenever you're in a lowered car like this. So, oh well, it's part of traveling. Okay, got out of the construction zone, back onto the road. It's not as good condition as it was before, but it's not terrible, so that's good. We can still keep a good pace. Everything in the car is coated with dust now, so that'll be fun to clean up, but oh well, part of it. We made it to our first decent sized city. There's actually a skyline over there. Gonna go ahead and get filled up with gas. This is so weird. 26, but it's liters, not gallons, and that is so different. I'm not used to that. Also, I hit a bird. It flew over and hit the thing. I don't see any feathers or blood, which is impressive, but he did go rolling off of it, so hey, luggage carrier survived, so that's good. Let's get back on the road. Okay, I think they're just confused now. They got one vertical and one sideways. Like, make up your mind. Come on, guys. And yes, this time at the gas station, I did forget to clean out the window, so I'm sorry. We'll try to remember to get it at the next one. On to Saskatoon or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it. Alright, so I actually had to turn back around. I was driving along, and it looks like they have a Volkswagen meet just going on this side of the highway, so I thought I'd stop and check it out for just a second. That's really cool having all these here and just randomly on the side of the road. I do have to make some time. Look at all the critters. I don't know if you guys can see that really well. You walk down here, they're all flying all over. All the grasshoppers going crazy. I don't know if you can see that at all on camera, but that's insane. Look what else I found down here. That's sick. Well, that was definitely a cool stop, but let's get back on the road, make some miles. Okay, I made a quick stop. We got some rain coming in. We're getting close to Saskatoon, but the rain's gonna hit before we get there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of our windows rolled up. So we are ready for the weather. Well, we're driving down through here and we come on this heritage museum. You can see there's a steam locomotive there with some cars behind it and a caboose. You got some of the pilgrim houses, as you can see where they're been building, and then teepees from the Indians and the Native Americans. Got some other train equipment. Kind of cool. And then obviously you got grain elevators all down through here. You got two massive ones there as we're crossing the nation. Okay, I had to come down and get a look at this 260 Canadian Northern. That's a cool rig right there. trying to get this silly sign the whole trip up here. I saw one as soon as I came in, and there's been a lot of them. Keep missing them with the camera. But I want to see a moose or a mises or mooses or all's the moose or whatever. I want to see a moose, okay? So keep seeing these signs. Haven't seen one yet. Hopefully we will soon. Well, guys, made another stop here for gas in Lloydminster. I'm gonna call it Lloydminster because I have a buddy named Lloyd and I call him Lloyd, and it just sounds funnier, Lloydminster. So yeah, I don't know why I needed to put that in the video, but I did. So anyway, I made a stop, and if you've been on the channel for any time at all, you know that I like orange Powerade Zeros. Well, I found orange Powerade Zeros, and look at these weird bottles. I have never seen one of these bottles. It's got like one of the the caps on it, that like the sippy cap thing. So anyways, I got some orange Powerade Zero. Pretty stoked about it. I haven't seen much of them during this trip, so finally found it. And we are very, very close to Alberta. Actually, in this town, the line for Alberta and Saskatchewan actually goes down the middle of town. So there's some markers and stuff we're going to go past, so we'll see that. And we are going to be in Alberta, Canada, and only have like 2.5 hours to get to the racetrack. It's been a long day, guys. This has been a lot of driving, but it's been a lot of fun too. Guys, see these red pillar things? That's what differentiates between the two provinces. Made it to Alberta. What? We are closing in on 2 hours to get to the start of Miles of Mayhem. We're so close, guys. Okay, for real this time. We're actually getting on the road. Okay, well, I made it to the racetrack. Me and Benny had a long day. It was good, a long drive. Got to watch the sunset. It was wild seeing the sunset and then having that glow of dusk for like an hour and a half, 2 hours after the sunset, and the sunset at like 10 o'clock. So, I mean, the sun, like, light just went down and it's midnight right now. So it's crazy to think about where we are. We're not far enough north to see it all the way around all day, like all night, but still pretty crazy to think how far we've driven. Like, this is the farthest I've ever been away from home. It's kind of surreal to think about that me and Benny drove it and we're here. I'm really looking forward to the racing over this next week. Hope you guys are too. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit a like on this video if you enjoyed hanging out on the adventure. I got some really crazy adventures coming up after we get done with this event as well, and of course the event, so be looking forward to all that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Have a blessed day, and I will talk to you guys next time.